All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've got another fantastic guest for you guys this week. Second time on the Do Big Things podcast, Annie Hughes, winner of the Leadville 100 this year. Annie, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I can't wait to hear all about this. But it looks like you've had a pretty amazing summer just by watching your Instagram.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been racing a lot. So it's been fun.
Yeah, well, you've had some
Yeah.
success. You're doing fantastic. You're only 23 years old, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
23.
And I'm not sure about the facts here. Were you the youngest woman to ever win Leadville?
I was.
Holy
Yeah.
crap, Annie. Okay, so you live in Leadville, originally from Wisconsin, just like myself,
Mhm.
and now you're living in Leadville. So, were you looking at the Leadville 100 for a long time? Were you planning on doing this race for quite a while now?
Yeah, I started looking at it when I moved to Buena Vista for my senior year of high school. My parents retired out there, and yeah, I just remember hearing about the race, and that was kind of the first time I heard about running 100 miles. And yeah, I just thought it was really cool. And then one of my friends in high school ran the 50-mile and paced at the 100. And so, yeah, I was just pretty inspired after hearing about that. And I always thought it was something I would do much later because I had plans to run in college. And then I did run in college for a couple of years and then quit the team to run ultras. And Leadville seemed like a good place to get into ultra running.
100%.
um, yeah, so, and then just worked out to run the race.
Good. Well, good for you. And it was your debut at Leadville, right? First crack at it.
Yes, yeah. I
Oh,
had done the Silver Rush 50 and earned a gold coin to get into the 100. And
okay.
so I was supposed to do it in 2020
Okay.
and then moved to 2021. But I think having that year um, to get a couple other hundreds under my belt
Yeah.
made me have a better performance this year. I don't think I would have done as well as I did if I had just run Leadville's my first 100 ever.
Yeah. Yeah. So a couple hundreds last year. Is that what you said?
Yes, yeah, I did a couple hundreds last year, and then I did one earlier this summer.
Okay.
Uh, so that was good prep for Leadville.
So the last time I talked to you was after you had set an FKT at the collegiate loop, right?
Yes, yeah, which was
Okay.
actually exactly a year ago
Oh, was it?
tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I started it exactly a year ago tomorrow.
Perfect. This was meant to
Mhm.
be. Excellent.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, since I've talked to you then, catch me up. Like I know you've done a handful of races, and I saw that you paced my crazy buddy John Sharp at Hard Rock.
Yeah.
So I got to hear about that too. But catch me up. Tell me about the races and what you've been up to.
Yeah, so this winter after the collegiate loop, I just felt like um, I wanted to get into the longer distances, like 100 plus miles. So I signed up for Moab 240 in January.
Ooh,
And yeah, so I kind of upped my mileage a bit this winter and had a really I just built a really strong base this winter and was really consistent. And I was running like 90 to 100 plus miles a week,
wow. During
um,
the winter?
all winter in Leadville.
Whoa,
Um,
that's not
yeah,
easy.
yeah. So I think that really helped me go into the racing season and like feeling strong. And I was actually working a lot this summer and racing a lot. So it was kind of race recover, race recover. I didn't really like train that much.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think having that like solid block of training over the winter really helped me this summer. And yeah, I started out my first race of the season was Behind the Rocks 50
Mm.
and in Moab. And that was awesome. I actually like wasn't feeling great for that race. I um, had some kind of like infection, and I think it was from my wisdom teeth. And so I was taking these antibiotics, and I reacted to them, and was actually went to the race covered in hives.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
So you just had your wisdom teeth pulled?
yeah. I had them pulled like a month or two before that,
Okay.
and yeah, something like the holes like didn't heal at all or something. And yeah, I just my jaw like got infected and it affected my whole body. And So I was taking antibiotics, and yeah, I felt really terrible like the whole couple weeks before that race. And I just felt good enough to go, and then I reacted to the antibiotic. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna race this. Maybe sweating it out will just get
There you go. Yeah, I would have done the same thing. The sweating it out's the key.
Yeah.
So you were covered in hives for that race?
Yeah.
Like head to toe, like your
I was
face
head
and
to toe
everything?
in
Really?
hives.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, like it got much better after the race.
Okay. Well, you must have done the right thing then.
Yeah.
How did that race go for you?
I didn't feel great, and I took a couple wrong turns. But I kind of made friends with the lady, who she I ended up winning the race. But we ran together for a long time, and then I kind of took off within the last 8 miles and put 15 minutes.
Whoa.
Yeah, but yeah, she was super nice, and yeah, so I really enjoyed the race. The scenery was beautiful, but it kind of turned into just like surviving through it instead of
And you still won.
Yeah.
There's got to be some kind of a world record or something there, I would think. You won the race with hives head to toe.
Yeah.
Like, come on, we should look into this. There's got to be an extra prize for that.
I know. And I was so itchy. Like I thought it would bother me during the race, but I didn't feel like itchy during the race. So that was good.
Wow. Okay. And so what was after that?
After that, I believe it was the Collegiate Peaks 50.
Okay. Oh, that's a good race.
And yeah, that was awesome. And that was my very first overall win. So I beat all the men as well.
Oh, Annie, you are blowing up. This is crazy. You're just dominating. Very, very impressive. Like, I mean, what would you attribute all this to? Is there any one thing or two things or three things that you can say like this has really helped me in my journey with ultra running?
I would say I just so I've been running for 10 years now, and I started in 6th grade, and I've been running all year round since 6th grade, and have had very minimal like injuries. I've had 2 major injuries that they both took me out for about like 8 to 10 weeks. But that's all I've had in 10 years. And yeah, and then in college, Adams State is a pretty high mileage program. And so I was running like 90 miles a week in college.
Okay.
And I think that helped me make the transition to ultras a lot faster.
Yeah.
Just because I've been running, and I've only run my whole life. Like that's the only sport I've ever done. Very running specific.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think just having a really like consistent like years of training have helped me to where I am now.
I took a peek at your ultra sign up, and it looks like you've only got 12 races on there. I say only, I shouldn't say only, but you've got 12 races on there, and you've got quite a few wins. And then of course your debut at Leadville 100, and you crushed it. I mean,
yeah,
it's pretty incredible. I mean, and if I remember right, did you run like all the streets in Leadville over the winter?
Yeah, I did.
Really?
Yeah, I did some fun challenges last winter. Like, so November, it felt like winter, but I ran from my house in Leadville to the top of Massive and Albert and back. And that was 50 miles. Nice. And then, yeah, and there was a bunch of snow up there. So it was really cold.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Were you like post-holing or what was going on?
I was
really? Okay.
Yeah, the whole way up Massive and Albert.
Were you cold? You don't look like a very big person that like retains a lot of heat. I'm guessing it must have been cold up there.
I was actually like, I think the coldest I was the whole day was running to the Massive trailhead, because I started really early in the morning, like 4 or something. And yeah, I was just freezing. And my friend, Gwen, I run with her a lot. We're kind of training partners, and she met me at the trailhead to do Massive with me, and she just had some like extra warm clothes and food and stuff, so I think that saved me, because like by the time I got to the trailhead I was really unmotivated.
Really?
So, yeah. but I just needed to warm up and it was fine. And then I couldn't feel my feet the whole way up Albert. Like it just got so cold. And yeah, the whole way up and down Albert. And then I felt them as I started to run back to town.
What route did you take from Massive to Albert? Because the quickest way would be like the Nolan's route, but I'm guessing that there was a lot of snow out there and that was probably not possible.
Yeah, I just did out and back. Went up the standard route, Massive, back, and then standard route, Albert.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was
one
and then
project.
The
every single street thing.
Yeah, tell me about that.
I think so. I forgot who kind of inspired me to do that. But I was just because I run all the roads in Leadville in the winter, and yeah, I think one of my friends made a joke like you should just run every single street for your long run. And then I heard about Ricky Gates running every single street in San Francisco, and that was insane. Yeah. So yeah, on a much smaller scale than that, but it was a lot of fun. And I tracked it on Gaia so I could see like which streets, make sure I didn't miss any streets because it's kind of hard to plan out like doing it in the most efficient way and making sure I got everything.
So are you just trying to run a small section of every street or trying to run the whole length of every street?
Yeah, I was running, the whole length of every street.
Okay. So what was the total distance of that project?
That was 51 miles.
51. Okay. Nice. Okay.
Yeah. It was funny. There was one point I like paused my watch to like check and make sure I got everything in the section that I was working on. And I forgot to start it again. And I did probably like 3 miles. I did 3 streets, like the full length. And before I realized. And so then I had to go back and do them again.
Oh, no. Of course.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. What else? So that's a couple easy 50 milers in the bag right there. And then you said you did another 100 miler this year before Leadville, right?
Yes. Yeah, I did Mace's Hideout 100 in June.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And that was an inaugural race this year. Which was really cool. It was in a cool part of Colorado that I had never explored in the Wet Mountains.
Yeah.
In Beulah, Colorado. And yeah, it was a super challenging course.
Is it?
Yeah, it was 20,000 feet of gain, which is, it's a decent amount, but it's not crazy.
Yeah.
But I think what made it so difficult was just the terrain. Just the whole last 30 miles were heinous.
Yeah.
Like huge snow drifts, like mud. You're going through these like deep creek crossings in the middle of the night. And then, so my feet were wet the entire time because there were just a bunch of creek crossings throughout, or river crossings. And so there's no point in changing my shoes. And so by the time I got to, 80 miles or so, like my feet were just so sensitive and the tender. And we just kept going through the creeks. And then there was some pretty technical steep downhills, and it really hurt to run the downhills just because like my feet were so tender and like the rocks whirled different ways. So and then the last section, there was a 9-mile section, and 3 miles of that section had 43 creek crossings.
43?
Yeah.
In the last 9 miles?
Through this, just weave through this creek. It was crazy. I don't know who decided to build that trail, but it was ridiculous. I was like, how are we going through this again?
What month was that race?
That was in June.
June. Okay. So a couple months before Leadville. So you had that stacked out pretty good. I mean, that sounds pretty perfect. 100 miler a couple months before, so you have time to recover.
Yeah, exactly. I really wanted to do a longer one just to kind of get the nutrition down, just kind of remind myself how that feels. And it was really cool. So the guy who won Mace's Hideout 100, he also won Uray 100.
Oh yeah. Anthony, I want to get him on the show.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you definitely should.
Okay.
He's really cool to talk to.
Okay.
So it was kind of cool to see like the top male finisher and female finisher won like pretty big 100s
Yeah, totally.
after running aces. So
No
I think
kidding.
that race definitely helped us.
Okay. Wow. Unreal. And did I see that you're working for the Leadville Race Series now?
Yeah, I just started this summer. I'm the retail store
Oh,
manager.
sweet. Cool. How'd you get hooked up with
Yeah.
that?
Oh, so the volunteer coordinator, he was looking for some help um, this summer. And so I was going to continue working at the restaurant I work at and also helping him at the races. Um, and then the lady who had my job ended up leaving, and she's working with the Trail Legacy 100
Yeah.
the Legacy Foundation
Okay.
with Ken and Marilee. And so, yeah, her position opened up, and yeah, I just thought it was a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I've been enjoying it
Wow.
so far. It's
Wow.
fun to like meet a bunch of different athletes who come
Oh,
into the
totally.
store, and yeah,
Yeah. So you're just like immersed in this Leadville world,
yeah,
living in Leadville, winning the race, working for Leadville.
yeah,
It's pretty awesome.
yeah. It's been fun.
Okay, cool. Um, is your training changing at all for Moab? Like what are you doing in preparation? Because that's coming up in less than a month, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Less than a month. It's October 8th. So yeah, I feel like my training is pretty much done. It's just maintaining.
Yeah, holding on to it.
um, yeah, I would like to get some kind of heat training in before, because I'm not a very good heat runner. um, but yeah, I'm pacing. I'm in Steamboat Springs right now, pacing at Run Rabbit.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, I'll be doing that tonight, and then next weekend I'm pacing at the Sangre de Cristo 100.
Oh yeah, nice. I'll be out there.
Oh really?
Yeah, I was
Oh,
supposed
that's
to
awesome.
run. I was supposed to run, but
Oh,
I'm injured.
nice.
So I'm just going to go out there and we're just going to volunteer and help out. But yeah, we'll be out there.
Oh, I'll see you.
Yeah, for
That's
sure. So
cool.
you're pacing someone that's doing the 100?
Yeah, it's her
Okay.
first 100.
Oh, sweet.
That's really exciting.
Cool.
Um, yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. So that's kind of how I'm getting my long runs in, and yeah, it'll be good to get some night running practice.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Every weekend you're just busy either racing or helping other people or out
Yeah.
training or you're just
Literally
getting
this whole
after it.
summer I've been involved with a race of some kind. Like I've either been working one of the Leadville Race Series races, or I've been running a race myself or pacing someone. Like, every weekend I was involved with some kind of race.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds like a pretty awesome summer.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into Leadville. Like, um, you said that you got your entry from Silver Rush, and so did your training change at that point, or were you pretty much just kind of doing the same thing before Leadville?
Oh, my training changed a little bit since Silver Rush. And yeah, I really wanted to try a 100 miler. And so that's when I started working with my coach, Alex Willis. And
Oh,
he's a Leadville local triathlete, professional triathlete and coach. And yeah, he's a Leadville native as well,
okay.
which is cool. And yeah, I just heard about him like, because everyone kind of knows everyone in the
Yep. Yep.
running community in Leadville. And yeah, started working with him, and it's been a really great relationship, just because I don't know, I like to have some flexibility in my training, and I'm also not very scientific with it. I just kind of like going in the mountains for as long as I feel like, and
Yeah.
that's my training. So yeah, we work well together because he's like, okay, you have to get this work in, but you can also kind of do whatever you want. So yeah, I think we're a good balance of like, here, get this tempo workout in, but you can also like go do whatever you want in the mountains this weekend. So
Okay. Okay. So how does that look like? What does that look like if your coach assigns you like a week's worth of workouts? Is it like you can do this on a different day if you want to, or is he really that laid back where it's like this is a tempo day and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen?
he's pretty laid back. Like I don't have to do it on that day.
Okay.
But this summer I kind of moved up because he has 2 plans you can do. And so I was doing the monthly plan where he just writes me workouts for the whole month. And now I'm doing a weekly plan. So he checks in with me every week, and we, which is really helpful because I can tell him what's going on that week and we can plan my training around what I'm doing. So yeah, I think that's been really helpful. And
so what sort of things are you communicating with your coach? Like, you said you're checking in with him just weekly, or is it more like daily?
Weekly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, what kind of things are you communicating to him? Is it just like scheduling stuff? Like, I have to work this day, so I'm not going to be able to get this done, or does it go deeper than that?
It goes deeper than that. I definitely tell him about my schedule, and then also just how I'm feeling. Like, I'm feeling pretty tired this week, so I feel like I don't really want to do any like big workouts or runs, that kind of thing.
Yeah. But are you keeping up with the mileage that he's assigning you? Like, if he wants you to do 90 miles this week, are you going out and getting that mileage done?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So the mileage is important, just not so much like the tempo day or something like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Got it.
Like, as long as I get the mileage and everything in, like it's
then
all
he's
good.
Happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What advice did he have for you before Leadville?
Oh, before Leadville. So he actually paced me in Leadville the last 13 miles, which was really
that's
cool.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we just he helped me with my pace chart, and I think we came up with a really realistic goal. I fell very much short of my goal, but
oh, really?
Yeah. But I'm still happy with it.
Can you say what the goal was? Do you want to say?
Yeah, I was hoping around like low 19s.
Oh, wow. That's stout. That's stout.
So I ran low 21. So
but you still won. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not upset with it or anything. I definitely think I'm still capable of that. And I want to go back to Leadville at some point and do that. I'm not sure if that'll be next year or when, but I think I still think it's a realistic goal.
Totally.
I really blew up on Powerline. And I think if I change some things, that might have not been so bad.
So when Annie Hughes blows up on Powerline, what does that look like?
I was just really struggling. Like, anything that was runnable, I couldn't run. Like, I just blew out my quads.
Really?
By the time I got there, and and it was just kind of in a negative headspace, I guess. And so I just needed quiet, and I needed to I couldn't run anything. So,
but you probably had a pacer at that point.
Yeah, I had a pacer.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was like trying to cheer me on and like everything, which was really nice. He's super supportive. But I was kind of direct. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to run this, but there's gonna be no talking.
Sometimes you just have to lay down the law. This is yeah.
But yeah, he was so awesome and supportive like the whole time. And then it was so funny. My crew, she came up to cheer me on the Hagerman Road. And I love her. Her name is Olga King, and she's been in the sport for a long time.
Yeah.
And she's from Russia, so she has this really thick Russian accent, and she's kind of intense. And so we turned the corner to get on the Hagerman Road, and I just hear, she didn't have a headlamp or anything. It was just like her voice in the dark. She's like, "And you have to run." Oh my gosh! Like, is that Olga?
Awesome. That is cool.
Just hearing things, or and then she turned her headlamp on. She's like right in my face.
Wow.
But she was just telling me like the other women aren't that far behind. Like, you need to start running. And so after that, I think I realized the finish wasn't that far. Yeah. Like a little over 13 miles. So I just had to push to the finish, and I ended up catching 2 more guys, and I put a whole hour ahead, or I finished an hour in front of the next woman, and she was only 30 minutes behind me at the last aid station. So
wow.
I had a good finish.
Wow. Let's go back to the beginning of the day. Like, what was going through your mind walking up to the start line? Were you feeling fit and confident and ready for whatever the day throws at you? Or were you a little bit nervous, or how were you feeling?
I didn't really feel nervous. I just felt really excited and
Mhm.
I felt like I was ready, especially having that extra year to prepare
Mhm.
and just like how well my whole season went. I felt like I had, um, potential to podium or even win it. So
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily think I would win, but I definitely like believed I could.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to. So yeah,
Where does that belief in yourself come from? Is it just from logging big miles week after week and, a whole winter of solid training, or are you like doing visualization where you're like visualizing yourself coming across the finish line in first place, or what does that look like for you?
yeah, I definitely the training over the winter and
Mm.
just how my races were going the whole summer just
Okay.
built that confidence. And then yeah, I definitely like envisioned myself winning like a bunch of times over like that last year. So when it actually happened, it was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
um
It's
yeah.
an important part of it. I mean, like when I ask you that question and you answer back, like when you say that, it might come off as a little cocky, but I understand that you're not trying to be cocky. I mean,
Yeah, no, not at all.
that's what it takes. If you want to win a race like this, it's going to take some visualization and sitting down and imagine what it's going to smell like and sound like when you're coming across the finish line. So it's all important. It's all part of it. So it sounds like you are just on top of it all.
Yeah, thank you.
Was there like, okay, so I was at Leadville this year, pacing and crewing and cheering people on, and I saw you at Twin Lakes and you were in the lead and I was cheering for you just like everybody was. But I'm not going to lie, you didn't look the best. You looked pretty fatigued, and
Oh, really?
like hat was down low. There was no smiling going on. Your lips looked like really white. And I was like, oof, man, I hope she's doing okay. or did I just see that wrong? What were your thoughts coming through Twin Lakes the second time?
I was actually feeling really good, but I was
Really?
also very focused and I didn't like there was a huge crowd at Twin Lakes, but I didn't notice how many people were there. I didn't like hear anything really. It was just like my crew was just kept handing me stuff to eat. And so I was just like trying to eat the
Yeah.
food and like get to the chair to like change my shoes. And I was just really focused on like what I needed to do at that aid station and just getting through there. So I wasn't paying attention to the crowd at all. Like I didn't even notice it.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, I might have just looked really focused.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I felt like good at that point.
Good.
So
Good. That's good to hear.
yeah.
And yeah, like when I saw you, I was like, yeah, Annie. And somebody right next to me looked at me and said, she doesn't really look so good. And I hope you don't mind me saying that. And I only say that because you still won the race. So there's no shame there whatsoever. But I'm glad that you were feeling better than I perceived, than my perception. I just took one look at you and I was like, God, she's in the lead, but she looks like she's on the struggle bus.
Well, I mean, I was feeling as good as I could for running, the Leadville
Yeah.
100K.
Yeah.
Twin
Yeah.
Lakes 100.
And I'm guessing you picked up a pacer at Twin Lakes right away.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. How many pacers did you have?
I had two pacers.
Two
So
pacers.
my pacer from Twin Lakes paced me from there to Make Queen, and then my coach Alex paced me from Make Queen to the finish.
Cool. Any low points throughout the day? I mean, you said that you kind of blew up at going up power line. Anything else, like any, I don't know, aches, pains, blisters, any other low points throughout the day?
I think my low kind of started when I was coming in, like running across that field into Outward Bound.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of started crying and I was like, I feel like we're going so slow.
The second time when you were coming
Yeah, I
through,
just
right?
felt like panicked.
Okay.
I just felt like we were moving really slow. And yeah, my pacer was like, "You're fine, Annie. Like, we're just gonna get across this field, like, get to the aid station. Like, it's gonna be okay."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we got there. I had some ramen, and got all my night gear. And then we headed up to Powerline, and I was okay on the road section of Powerline, but then when we started up, I just like blew up. Yeah, my quads were just shot. And then on the way down, it was even more painful. Like and there's so many rocks and stuff on that road.
Yeah.
And it was just, yeah, really painful to like take a step, and it was all uneven. And yeah, my quads, it was just like a really intense, like stinging pain. That I just like couldn't shake.
Yeah.
And then also like you're going into the night, and it's like, that's kind of
a little daunting. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
that was probably the low. But then when I got to May Queen, I started feeling a lot better, and
Really?
kind of saw that the end was in sight, and the next woman was 30 minutes behind me. So I was like, I gotta move. And like, I didn't really care about how bad my quads hurt at that point anymore. I was just like, I need to run this to the finish. So.
Yeah. How did you turn it around and make yourself feel better by the time you got to May Queen? Or was it just that, you could almost smell the finish line, or what was it like?
Yeah. Just no, it helped to know like how far ahead I was, and yeah, just changing my mindset around helped a lot.
Yeah. So was your crew telling you where second female was at all the different aid stations, or did you not really know what was going on until you got to May Queen?
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on until May Queen.
So you were just like running.
They were like,
no, so you were just like running scared.
Yeah,
just like looking over your shoulder.
Yeah, and at the turnaround at Winfield, they were not as far behind me as I thought they were.
Really?
Like, yeah, they were a bit closer than I thought that they would be. And so that kind of motivated me to like really push up Hope Pass and down. And then, but yeah, apparently they were only 10 minutes behind me the whole day.
Whoa.
And there was like a group of 5 of them. And yeah, they were only 10 minutes behind. And I thought I had a bigger lead than that like the whole day. So.
Kind of a gut check.
Yeah. And then at Outward Bound, I heard that they were 20 minutes away. And yeah, so, and then when I was going up Powerline, and I knew they were only 20 minutes away, and I was just having that low, I was like, this is it. Like, they're going to catch me. Like, I can't move any faster than this. And then when I got to May Queen and found out that I didn't blow up quite as bad as they did, because they were 30 minutes behind at that point. So I made up another 10 minutes, and then I was like, okay, I just got to really push to the finish, and then ended up finishing an hour ahead. So.
Yeah. Wow. So you put a lot of time down there. Did you really have to dig into the pain cave to get yourself that much further ahead, or what was it like for you? Like the last 25 miles, was it just a complete sufferfest, or were you hanging in there and doing okay?
It was a sufferfest on the Powerline section, and then down into May Queen. That was, especially down, that was the biggest sufferfest of the whole thing. Yeah. I just felt like I was barely moving. And then like the Turquoise Lake section is really runnable. There's no climbs or anything. So I knew I could run it. And yeah, I was just really focused on getting to the finish, and it went by really quickly. I was surprised.
Good. Was there any walking going on as you're like from May Queen on? Was there any walking breaks, like as you're going around Turquoise Lake, like I just need a minute, or did you stay focused and keep plugging away?
I was plugging away. I think there were like a couple little like hilly parts that I walked, but it was maybe like a minute or 2.
Okay.
And yeah, I pretty much ran like the whole thing. So
wow. Incredible.
Really helped.
Yeah. Incredible. It looked like you were pretty emotional at the finish.
Yeah. I felt kind of emotional the whole day. It was weird. And I held it in because I was like, I can't cry. Like, it's just going to waste energy. And I think, and I was just really tired and like in pain. And then my whole family was there, and I'm winning Leadville 100. And I think it was just like a mix of everything, like kind of made me emotional, but I'm usually not a very emotional person. So that was kind of weird for me. Like looking back on that, I'm like, oh, that's so weird. I was like emotional.
Oh no, don't feel bad about it. Like I was emotional watching the video, and like if I was winning the Leadville 100, I'd be crying at the finish line too. So don't feel bad about it. I think that's a perfectly rational emotion.
Yeah, like it meant a lot to me to win, and just being, from Leadville, it was really special.
Very special. Yeah, yeah. You mentioned that you want to come back and do it again, but do you have your eyes on other races next year rather than Leadville? Like, are you thinking about Western States?
Yeah, I would love to do Western States. So if I can get into that, that would be my number one. If I don't get into Western States, I'd like to try Cocodona 250.
Nice.
And then, so if I do get into Western States, I won't do Cocodona instead, because I want to do a 200, something like that next year. And so I think I'd like to do Tahoe 200.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If I do,
you're just diving into this 200 thing now too, huh? That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I really want to do all of Candace's races. I just think they're really inspiring. So I kind of want to do those over the next few years.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
What's the longest you've been on foot so far up till now? The collegiate loop is like 160. Have you been further than that?
No, that's the furthest I've gone.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
But it took me 61 hours. So I feel like a 200 will take me a similar amount of time.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any goals that you can share with us with Moab? Like, are you looking at a podium finish, or do you have a certain time goal? Or since you've never completed a distance like this, are you just trying to finish the thing and have a good time?
Yeah, I mean, I'm competing, so I would like to try to compete for a podium spot. And yeah, my time, I really have no idea.
Sure.
Like these longer ones, I feel like 100 it's a lot easier to predict.
Totally.
But 200, it's like, I don't know where I'm going to feel like have my lows and where I'm going to feel better. Like the collegiate loop was super weird because I felt terrible the whole first day and then had a great second night and day. So, yeah, it's weird how that works. So I don't know when I'm going to hit my highs and lows, and that makes it really hard to predict. So I'm hoping it'll take me like 60 to 70 hours, like somewhere in there. Uh-huh. But yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, you just don't know when you're going that much further for the first time. Yeah. It's like, how many lows do I need to account for? Like you just don't know what's going to happen over 240 miles.
Yeah. I think I'm just more excited to take on like the challenge of running further than I ever have before. So, well,
I'm sure you're going to do great. Do you feel like the effort you put in at Leadville is going to hinder Moab at all, or are you feeling pretty good about your recovery?
So Leadville, it was actually probably the worst I've felt after anything I've done.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Like how bad was it?
Really bad. Like I just, I think I was really beat up because the course is so runnable. And so, yeah, I'm just now starting to feel back to myself.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. And usually I'm like, after a week, after 100, I'm, ready to go.
Yeah.
And I have to like hold myself back. But this one, like I never had to hold myself back. It was like my body holding me back. Like, so.
But you've been out running since Leadville. You've been doing, looks like a bunch of different fun stuff. You were out in the San Juans a week or two ago, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that was this past, or Monday, Tuesday. My boyfriend and I, we backpacked in 10 miles, and then we did a fun run up a couple 14ers.
Nice.
That was like 15 miles, and then we backpacked out. And yeah,
Which ones?
Uncompahgre and Wetterhorn.
Oh, cool. Yeah, those are fun ones. Nice.
Yeah, I love them. They're so beautiful over there. So that was a lot of fun. And just good time on the feet. And then I also did a fun group run. We ran from Leadville to Fairplay and stopped at the brewery for beer and nachos.
Nice.
And then ran back to Leadville over Mosquito Pass. So it was like this big loop.
Oh,
so
wow.
That was 38 miles. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like pretty chill. stuff
Sure.
at the brewery. So it was just a fun day.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I think that was good practice, like eating like real food and then running. Like I'll need to
Yeah,
practice
like
that for Moab. So
eat a burger and then go run on it or something.
yeah,
Yeah, have that full stomach.
yeah. And everyone was like, "How did you drink beer and eat nachos before running 18 more miles back?" But
Takes
yeah,
a special kind of person to be able to do that, Annie.
we were going pretty slow, so it was
Yeah,
like I was trying to sprint back over to Leadville.
for sure. Yeah. Your boyfriend, what's his name?
Noah
Noah.
Williams.
Now,
Yeah.
did he win the Leadville Marathon this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. So he's a legit runner too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he's had a great season.
Okay.
So,
Where did you guys meet?
so it's actually funny. I was looking for another pacer for the collegiate loop. And I asked my coach, Alex, I was like, I don't know anyone like who I can ask to pace. Like, do you know anyone in town who would be willing to pace me for this one section? And he knew Noah just, through the running community. And Noah agreed to it. And it actually, so he came to the trailhead with my roommate. She brought him from Leadville. And then we were going to do this big exchange. Like my parents were bringing my pacer from the previous section, and then they were going to pick Noah up and take him to the next section where he's going to pace me. And I ended up, since I was so slow that first day, I ended up being like way behind my schedule, and he was going to pace me at like 4 a.m. And then it turned into like 11 a.m. and he had work.
Oh,
and
no.
So my parents came to drop the pacer off, and he was like, "I'm so sorry, I don't have time to go pace her." So he like met my parents and my roommate, like everyone. Never met me.
So that's how you guys met.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hi, nice to meet you.
Like
I'm sorry, I can't pace you. I have to go to work."
Yeah. I never actually met him because I was out running like when they did this exchange. But yeah, so I never met him that time. But then he asked me to go for a run like a month after I finished the collegiate loop, and yeah, we just hit it off. So
that's awesome.
Been together ever since. Yeah.
So that run was your first date.
Yeah.
Nice. That's like,
I didn't really think anything of it. I was just like, oh, guy in town. We're like, wants to run.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I ended up liking each other. So
that's the best way it can happen. Just unexpected, like no expectations. Whoa, this guy's cool. Like, I like this.
Yeah.
So I don't know a lot about him, but yeah, I saw that he won the Leadville Marathon. I'm guessing he's an ultra runner too. Has he done the longer stuff?
Yeah, so he actually ran the Leadville 100 this year as well.
Oh.
And he finished right in front of me.
Oh, really? No way.
Yeah, he was 2 minutes in front of me.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So were you guys running together a lot?
No, actually. So the last section from May Queen, he was 40 minutes ahead of me, and I made up 40 minutes of time. Like I almost caught him. And then Olga actually saw him coming up the boulevard to the finish, and she was like, "You better get going, like Annie's going behind you." And so then he started running.
That's cool. Little friendly competition there. There's nothing wrong with that.
Like, yeah, I'll take it. That's probably the closest I'll ever come to him in a race. So I'm gonna enjoy it.
So what place did he come in?
He was 13th.
13th. Okay.
Yeah.
Legit. Wow. Was that his first 100, or has he done?
That was his first 100.
No kidding.
Yeah. So he's really
you guys, what's in the water out there? Like, I want whatever you guys are eating. And okay, speaking of eating, I've got a really important question for you, Annie. I want to know how much ice cream you've eaten since the Leadville 100, because I see on your Instagram, there's a lot of ice cream going on.
A lot of ice cream. Yeah, my roommate and I, we love trying different ice creams. Like, you should see our freezer. It's full of like 20 pints of ice cream.
Really?
Yeah, but we always like start one, and like we won't finish because we won't finish the whole pint. So like we'll split a pint, but like we won't finish it all. And then there's not enough to like really share later. So then we just have like all of these pints of ice cream in our freezer with like a quarter left.
You must have some good self-control if you can not finish the pint, because I am a pint finisher. If I start it, it's going down.
I think like splitting it with my roommate helps.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
Yeah, and then if we really like a certain flavor, like we'll split the whole pint. Like we're like, okay, we should just finish this.
Okay.
It's really good.
What's your favorite ice cream?
Oh, so we actually now our taste is getting pretty expensive because we're buying like these $7 pints from Whole Foods. But it's the best. Like now we just can't enjoy the Safeway
Yeah.
ice cream.
Yeah, right.
But it's called McConnell's
Okay.
ice cream.
Okay.
Fine ice cream.
Of course.
Yeah. And they have this salted cream and cookie ice cream. And so it's like chocolate chip cookies broken up in this like salted cream ice cream. And the salt, like there's so much salt in it. But it's so good. And then there's
what's the name brand again? I've got to write this down because I'm going to
Oh.
Whole Foods right after this conversation.
Oh, it's called McConnell's.
Okay.
And
Cool.
I think it's a local ice cream shop in like Santa Barbara or somewhere in that area in California. And then they have their own, they also have their own brand and sell the Whole Foods and everything. So
Yeah. Okay.
and then they also have one that's really good. It's a honey and corn cookie ice cream.
Corn cookie?
It's so good.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm writing all this down. And what was the first flavor that you liked from McConnell's?
Oh, it was the salted cream and cookie.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's so good.
See, now you're going to be responsible for me eating 2 pints of ice cream tonight. Oh gosh.
So worth it. Oh, that stuff is so good.
So worth it. Yeah. What else is in your future? I mean, you got Moab and you've got plenty of time to think about it, of course, but do you have other plans, other races that you're really excited for, or not even races, just other projects? It sounds like you get down with your own DIY projects all the time. What's the plans for the future?
So as far as like FKT projects, I would love to do the Colorado Trail at some point. I think that's really inspiring to me. I've always wanted to do the Colorado Trail in general. Like I would be fine.
Oh no, did I lose you? So Colorado Trail, I see you doing the Colorado Trail in your future. Like it just has your name written all over it, I think. So what else? Is that the only big project that you have in mind?
I would also really like to do Nolan's
Yes.
14. And the only thing is I don't really enjoy bushwhacking and I'm also terrible with directions. So that's like the minor issue.
Minor details.
Minor issue. But Noah is really good with directions and loves like going off trail and stuff. So if I did it, I would definitely do it with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would necessarily go for the FKT. I think I just want to do it to do it.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm if the FKT is quite in my reach, but maybe after doing it once, I could see where that could be a possibility.
Yeah. Well, but you're still thinking under 60 hours though, right?
Yeah. So I think it's like you technically finish if you get under 60 hours.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Maybe you'll have to like pull a Sabrina Stanley and go out there and do it twice in 1 year.
I don't know about that.
That's just craziness.
That's so crazy.
Oh my God. Yeah. Just finishing that thing once is still in my, it's still a dream of mine and that I haven't been able to do that yet. So I can't imagine doing it twice in one summer. It's
I
great.
know.
Have you been out there scouting at all? I'm sure you're familiar with all those peaks, but have you been in between them on the Nolan's route?
Yeah, I haven't. I've done all the peaks, but not together. And actually, Noah just got an FKT called the Pine Creek Pentangle. So you do like all the 14ers in that Pine Creek section. So Harvard, Columbia, Missouri, Belford, Oxford.
Oh.
And then you also hit a 13er. I think it's called Iowa Peak or something.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a huge day. He had like 13,000 feet of gain and like a little over 30 miles.
Okay. Does it start at the Pine Creek Trailhead?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Nice. Okay.
It looks like a really cool route. So
yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
And that's like half of Nolan's right there almost, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Unreal.
I just need to follow him.
Yeah.
Or like
Yeah.
he should go for it. He'd be great. So
This sounds like the perfect guy for you. So you're doing everything right, Annie. Just keep doing what you're doing. Um, oh, it looks like you could use some practice opening a champagne bottle as well.
yeah. I had never done that before.
Is that your first one?
That was my first one.
Oh, come
I was also
on.
just like really tired, and I was like, I just don't.
You don't care. Just
Yeah.
oh, that was funny. It was kind of comical. I'm thinking, man, when I was 23, I could open a champagne bottle with like one hand while I was driving. That's no big deal at all. But I think Annie's in a better place than I was when I was 23. So good on you. Oh, wow. So Moab in less than a month. That's pretty exciting. How long are you going to be out there for?
Oh, so I'm gonna leave on the 7th, and yeah, so the day before the race, and
Last
then
minute.
yeah, because it's like a maybe like 3 or 4 hour drive.
Yep.
And we have an Airbnb for that whole week.
Nice.
So I'll have that for my crew and pacers and everyone. And yeah, I'm just gonna go down that day and check in, and then we have the Airbnb through the 12th, so I can, if I take until the last day, I can.
Yeah, yeah.
And then yeah, and then if I finish before that, I can relax in the Airbnb.
Totally. That's what everybody's hoping for.
Yeah.
Is Noah running that race, or is he going to be pacing you, or what's up there?
Oh, he's pacing me. Yeah,
Oh,
he's
cool.
pacing me for 50 miles actually.
Wow. Yeah.
It's taking a big section. So the first place I can meet with my crew is at 70 miles, and that's where I can pick up a pacer as well.
Right.
So and then there's no crew access for the next 50 miles. So yeah, I'm glad I found someone who's capable of running 50 miles with me.
No kidding.
And then after that, I'm taking an 18-mile section by myself. And then I have pacers until the end of the race.
Okay. How many pacers?
5 total.
5 total. Yeah. That's a big
and then
crew.
one of them is doing 2 sections with me.
Oh, wow.
She's doing, like a 27-mile section, and then the last section is 16 miles.
Okay. What is your favorite thing a pacer can do for you when you're really down in it? You're down in the depths. Like, what's the best thing a pacer can do for you to bring your spirits up or to get you running fast again?
I think so. I'm kind of one where I just need quiet, and I like having a pacer. Like, I'm usually really chatty in the beginning when they start running with me, and then I'm like, okay, I can't talk anymore. And yeah, I just like having the pacer there to make sure I'm going the right way.
Yeah.
And then also time me for naps when I need them, and then make sure I'm eating and drinking, because I will forget to do that. I'll just be so focused on the run, and also just like won't want to. So I think having someone like kind of forcing me to eat and drink is really helpful. And then also just getting me through the aid stations quickly, like making sure I'm not staying there too long, and making sure I have everything I need, especially in these longer ones, because 100, I'm usually pretty with it the whole time. But, the collegiate loop, I was seeing cows at the end in the middle of the forest. So I was like really not with it at all.
I mean, Moab 240, you might just see the devil himself. I mean, that's a long race.
Totally.
Well, that's cool. It sounds like you're all set up for it. You got the right people, everything's in place. I'm curious. You said your parents were at the finish of Leadville. How do they feel about this? I mean, if I remember right, are your parents runners?
They're not, no.
But
yeah,
did they do some hiking or something? Do I have it wrong there? I thought that you got some sort of inspiration from them, but I might be mixing stories up.
Yeah. So they do hike. They were thinking about backpacking the collegiate loop.
Oh.
Because they didn't want to do the whole Colorado Trail. And then, I don't know if they'll end up doing that. They haven't done that yet. I don't know if they even have like all their backpacking gear and everything.
Minor details.
Yeah.
What do they think of all this and everything? what do they think of you winning Leadville and winning these other races and then going and doing a 240-mile race later this year? Do they think it's just the craziest thing ever, or are they super proud of you, or what do they think?
I think they're proud of me. But yeah, like I've been kind of like doing this kind of stuff my whole life.
For
so
a while.
I think
Yeah.
they just know that that's my thing. Yeah. And they're crewing for me at Moab, which is really nice. And they crewed for me at the Collegiate Loop. So yeah, they've had some experience crewing me with these longer ones. So yeah, I think it'll be really nice to have them there.
Cool. That's awesome. You want to give any shout outs, sponsors, people that help pace you, anything else?
Oh yeah. I just signed my contract with Hoka.
No kidding.
Yeah. So that's been really awesome.
Okay, sweet. So how does that happen? Do they approach you, or did you approach them, or how did that all shake out?
So Brian Metzler, he is writes for Trail Runner magazine, and he wrote an article on me after I did that run up from Leadville to Massive and Albert and back. And he asked me what shoes I run in, and I run in the Hoka Speed Goats. And yeah, he said, "Oh, I'll reach out to Hoka about you. Like, I know some people over there." I was like,
nice.
Okay, like they're probably not going to be interested.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then I got this email from the lady who's she's in charge of all the athletes and marketing and all that. So yeah, she sent me an email, and I just like about fell over.
Really?
Yeah, I'd love to interview you for like a potential sponsorship. I was like, oh my gosh, they actually are interested.
Wow.
So yeah, I did the interview and signed my contract, and yeah, it's been really awesome.
What is that interview process like? Like, do they dig into your past history and try and like talk to your neighbors to see if you're really a nasty person, or like, how does it go? Or is it just really simple? Like, what are your goals? What kind of shoes do you like to run in? Or what's that interview like?
Oh, it was, it was a really simple conversation. She just asked, like what shoes I run in, and so Brian Metzler already told them a bit about me. So she knew kind of what I had done.
Okay.
And she said, yeah, I think you'd be perfect for this. And she asked me about my goals and just kind of like the requirements for the sponsorship. Like, because I'm not huge into social media. So that was something I was kind of concerned about. I was like, do I need to post every day or something like that? Because I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And so I'm just required to do like one post a month on Instagram or Strava. Those are the only two social media platforms I have. Yep. And yeah, the only platforms I want to ever add more than that. Like, too much. I just have Instagram figured out. Like Facebook makes no sense to me. I can't figure that out.
Try Twitter. I don't know how
older people use that one, because I feel like Instagram is way easier to use.
Than totally. Yeah. Oh, totally.
Facebook, so much going on. Don't understand it. So yeah, that was really nice. And then they were just really supportive of all my goals, and so I'm really excited.
Do they have like required races that you have to participate in, or do you have to do a certain number of races a year?
Yeah, so I'm required to do one Hoka race per year, or a race that they present. And so this year I did the Speed Goat 50K.
Oh yeah,
because that was the only one that worked with my schedule. The other one I could have done was Javelina 100, which I was like, that would be a cool race, but it's less than a month after Moab, so I just can't do that.
Yeah, and you were already signed up for Moab.
Yeah, I was already like had all my races planned out, and so then I had to add this race kind of last minute. I signed up a few weeks before, and I was kind of nervous about doing the 50K because I'm like the longer stuff, and then also a Speed Goat is just a ton of climbing. It's like 11,000 feet in 50K. And just all straight up, straight down. And I do vert in my training, but nothing to really speak of. I wouldn't say I'm like a super heavy vert person.
Okay.
So I was like, I don't know, I just haven't really done the proper training for this, where I just have done a lot of like steep climbing. And then, yeah, I don't really run the shorter stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of nervous going into it, but I think a couple weeks before is when I paced John at Hard Rock. And so I got some good vert while I was in Silverton.
Yep.
The San Juans, they have a lot of great runs where you can just get, 3,000 feet in, 6 miles or so. So that's really nice. For Leadville, it's like mostly 2,000 feet in those runs. So that was really helpful. And yeah, I ended up going a lot better than I thought it would. I got 6th place, and
Nice.
I thought top 10 would be like a reach. So
wow,
I was really happy with that.
Wow. I'm curious, how did you get hooked up with my my crazy buddy John Sharp? Like, how did that work out?
It was really funny. So the restaurant that I worked at in Treeline, or called Treeline Kitchen,
Huh.
I was serving him dinner
really?
there. Yeah, and he ate so much food, and I'd never seen anyone eat that much food. And I just made a comment like, "Wow, a lot of food." Like, not in a bad way. I was just like, "Wow, that's impressive."
Yeah, are you an ultra runner or what's going on?
Yeah, he's like, "Oh yeah, well, I just did some 14ers and I'm pretty hungry," and I was just making conversation. I was like, "Oh, what 14ers did you do?" And he's like, "Oh, all the ones from Salida, like up to here." It's like, "Did you do Nolan's 14?" He said, "Yeah, well, I tried to. I made it 9 peaks and I had to bail because of my breathing problems."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, dang, that's brutal." But yeah, and then we got talking about ultra running, and then that was it. And then he came into dinner like the next night, and we were talking more about running. He was in my section again. And he's like, "Hey, do you want to do Sherman with me and some friends tomorrow?" And I was
nice.
like, I don't know this guy. Like, but like, John, like he's such a character. Like, I don't even know how to describe him.
Oh, totally. He's like a caricature of himself. He's got the Southern accent. He talks a lot. Like, I've gone out on
so fast.
He talks so fast. Like we did Long's Peak. I guess it was last summer. And that guy talks to every single person on the trail.
Every person.
Like, "Yeah, where y'all from? I'm from San Antonio."
Oh my God. And then he has like, so at Hard Rock, like he has his like spandex shorts, and then on top of that, he puts khaki pants that are cut. And so when he goes uphill, they look like jorts because like the pockets come out. And then he's got this big leather belt, and then he has like 7 of these t-shirts that are light blue with the original Texas flag on them, like the yellow star.
Okay.
And he said, "Yeah, I wear it because not many people know that that's the original Texas flag." It's kind of funny. But he only wears that shirt. And then he has a Texas flag like pinned to his running pack. And then he got a custom made hat that says Sharpie on the side of it.
Of course.
And just like that's his like race or like adventure outfit.
How far did you pace him at Hard Rock?
I paced him 27 miles from Telluride to the finish.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was with him for 16 hours. So I started at like 9 a.m. and then he finished at like 1:30 a.m. like somewhere in there. And he'd never finished the loop in that direction. He'd only finished Hard Rock going the other direction.
Oh, okay.
So that was a big deal. And yeah, he was awesome. Like,
cool.
He was very entertaining to pace. Like,
oh yeah, he is.
Even though it was 16 hours, it went by pretty fast because I was just like dying laughing the whole time.
Nice. Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, serious question. And John, if you're listening, I love you, buddy. But Annie, did you get sick of him in that 16 hours?
No, I don't think so. Like,
Okay.
I had a great time. Yeah.
No, he's fun.
No.
I've spent hours and hours with the guy, and that guy can talk. And he's out doing Tour de France right now. And the guy can't stay off his Facebook. He's out in the middle of the race posting all these pictures to Facebook, and he was doing the same thing with Nolan's. Every single peak he's posting. I'm like, dude, get off your Facebook, man. What are you doing?
Oh, that's hilarious.
But he's a character, and I love the guy. So, I collect weird friends, and that's one of them.
Yeah, John is awesome. And then he also introduced me to Olga. That was those are the friends that he was hiking Sherman with that next day. And I ended up going and meeting them. And I've stayed in touch with Olga ever since. And she's like a huge mentor to me. So
nice.
Yeah.
Wow. So cool. Okay. So we're on sponsors. Is it just Hoka right now, or do you have any other sponsors?
Hoka and Tailwind.
Nutrition. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Any shout outs you want to give? Crew, pacers, family, anybody else?
Oh yeah. Like literally everyone who's helped me this year has been amazing. And my roommate, Marley, we're like best friends, and she crewed for me in my 100 this year, and then she's crewing for me at in Moab.
Okay.
So she's just so kind to come and help me with all these huge adventures. She crewed for me at the Collegiate Loop.
Is she a runner as well?
No. So it's funny, like it's kind of cool having a friend who's not a runner.
Yeah.
She's a full-time artist.
Oh, cool.
She's very talented. Yeah. So it's we're both like very passionate about what we do, but it's like different things. So it's we get along really well.
What kind of art does she do?
She does like a lot of, like all different mediums, but it's mostly mountain paintings, like and landscape. And she just has this really unique style where she adds so in her watercolor paintings she adds ink lines. And so it really makes it pop, and like you can see like every little ridge, and she just captures it so well. But she also paints windows, and she's amazing. She's been doing pottery last winter, and then and it's just cool to see the improvement. Like her pottery is beautiful. And then she does murals. She did a couple like big murals this year. One in Leadville, actually, like right by the retail store. She painted the "We Love Leadville" sign, and then she painted a bunch of like really colorful homes, and then Albert in the background.
Oh wow,
that's really cool.
That's cool. Wow. I'm jealous of your life, Annie. You're 23 and you're just living the life. Like, this is so cool. Like, you're out killing races. You got a great boyfriend. You got a cool roommate. You got parents that support you. You eat tons of ice cream. I mean, come on, life is good.
It's good. I'm really grateful.
Well, congrats once again. I mean, debut Leadville, and you absolutely crushed it. You might not have hit your goals, but you absolutely crushed it. I think those goals were maybe a little ambitious, but but I think you can still do it. Like, maybe not your first crack at it, but I think that it's still doable for sure. I know you can take time off of 21 hours. I think so. But I'm happy with it. Absolutely. You should be.
And I wasn't really sure what I could run exactly, because every other 100 miler I'd done was a really challenging course, and I ran like 28 hours. That was my 100-mile PR before Leadville. So I was like, I don't know. Like,
really?
28
hours at the race that you did this year?
Yeah, it was just a brutal course. Like,
really? No kidding.
It took forever.
Wow.
And then my first 100 was like a total disaster, but I finished it, and it just took a long time.
Well, it does take a while to sort of learn your body and figure out how to dial in the whole 100-mile distance. Like there's a little bit to it, and it takes a little bit of practice, but it sounds like you are on top of it. So Annie, just keep doing what you're doing. Like, I'm just going to watch you from afar and live vicariously through you. Like, I wish I was living in Leadville and eating all the ice cream you're eating.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Well, you'll have to let me know what you think of the McConnell's ice cream.
Oh, gosh, I know. Now I'm not going to know which one to pick, or I probably will eat 2 pints tonight. I'm just going to send you a picture of 2 empty pints and me on the couch in pain.
Oh my gosh, that would be a lot.
And your Instagram, Outdoorable Annie. That is the most fitting and awesome Instagram handle, and it just suits you so well. Did you think of it?
I know my mom came up
Your
with
mom
that.
did? It's so cool. Outdoorable Annie, right?
Yeah.
Is there any spaces or hyphens or anything in there if people want to find you?
Oh yeah, there's a hyphen in between Outdoorable and Annie.
Okay.
So,
Got it. Okay. All right, guys, look her up. She's a fun follow. She's always out doing lots of cool India stuff. So check it out. But Annie, thanks again for doing this, and congrats once again on Leadville, and good luck at Moab. We're going to be keeping an eye on you, and no matter how it goes, we're on your side. We're fans, so just keep doing what you're doing.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate
Absolutely.
having me
Okay.
back on the show and
Oh,
everything.
just keep doing big things, and we'll keep having you back on. This is so much fun.
Thank you.
All right, Annie, have a great day.
Thank
We'll
you
see
so
you.
much. You too.
Absolutely. Bye.
Bye.